When most people think of NFTs, they usually imagine artworks of animals that are a part of a collection and have value in their uniqueness. And the majority understands the idea behind them and knows that they are non-replicable digital art with proof of ownership, whose value is determined by supply, demand and scarcity. But only a few have understood that the current NFT world is no longer just about beautiful or creative artworks. The market has changed and new trends have emerged. From now on, it is about making NFTs useful. This evolution towards giving NFTs a utility creates a different value for them, in addition to their rarity and collectability. And in this video we will show you probably the most popular utility of all NFT projects at the moment. It's called staking. Hey guys, it's Vasamo from Stractors, and together with my partner One Stone, we are going into detail about staking today. We will explain how it works, show you how you can use it yourself, present a live demo, and also talk about tokenomics, which plays an important role here. Staking is the most requested topic on our channel so far, and since you asked for it so much, we will make several videos about it, because it's simply too big to put all information into one video as there are endless possibilities. I would be incredibly happy if we reach 200 likes on this video, and also hit the subscribe button, as only 10% of our viewers have subscribed to this channel. And now enjoy the video. Let's start easy. Everyone knows interest in the banking systems. You deposit your money in a savings account and the bank pays you with interest for leaving your money there. The same system exists with many cryptocurrencies, for example with Solana as well, where you can stake a portion of your holdings and earn a proportional reward over time. Long-term crypto holders see staking as a chance to let their funds work for them instead of just holding them. And the same is now happening with NFTs too. Staking NFTs means locking up the token on a platform or protocol in exchange for rewards and other benefits. It allows holders to earn a passive income by maintaining ownership. And that has advantages for all sides. From the user side it's pretty clear, but especially for a project owner you create the following effects. By staking and locking the NFTs, less can be listed on marketplaces because they are not available, and therefore the supply decreases. And at the same time the demand increases, because people would like to earn money with your NFTs, while they already speculate with the ownership of the token. Just look at this project, Tayo Robotics. A collection of over 2000 NFTs, but only 20 of them are on the market. Why that? Because people are staking, and what happens? The floor price, the cheapest price to buy an NFT of this collection, rises to almost 200 Solana. Of course, it is not only the staking in this project that makes it successful, but I want to show you how it can run in the optimal case. You're also probably wondering how these rewards can look like. Well, basically we differ between two different types of rewards. The first type, which actually occurs less frequently, is the direct sending of Solana to the people who are staking. This is of course cool for the holder to see that they directly earn passive income, but you have no further possibilities after sending it out. What do I mean by that? Let me explain that with the second reward type. It's about distributing a fungible token. In Solana's example, it's an SPL token, with which we now have unlimited options. We can put the token on a market, users can exchange it for Solana or USDC, use it as a currency on your own marketplace, or even voting rights in your DAO, for example. We call this topic tokenomics, and we will explain it more in detail later in this video, as it's basically the heart of staking. Therefore, I would like to clarify the definition again. We see staking as a system where we are simply locking your NFT to generate rewards. The much more exciting topic is actually how to deal with these rewards, which is basically called tokenomics and stands for the economics of a crypto token. Maybe some of you are wondering how these rewards are created in the first place. The answer is pretty clear. Only through your own investment. You determine which rewards your holders will receive, and this may sound surprising to some, but yes, in the first place, you will invest more than you earn with the staking system. You have to understand that this is an investment in your project and that can pay off in the long run, but most of you will not have the financial resources before mint to be able to distribute enough Solana or to keep the token stable enough on the market through liquidity. So be careful with your promises before you even release. Staking can also mean that you have to reinvest 30 to 50% of the revenue or even more. Also, the implementation of a staking system can be very expensive if you have your own wishes and you don't use an open source repository, of course. I would like to summarize the whole topic again. Staking is not something you should take lightly and is primarily only for projects that have or are expected to generate a lot of capital. There are plenty of other utilities you can find for your project, and just because staking is currently so popular does not mean that every project has to write it on a roadmap. Consider carefully if you can offer this service, and be warned that it will not be an easy process. From now on, my partner OneStone takes over and shows you how staking implemented could look like in a project.
To fully understand what staking is all about, it is necessary to understand how this could be realized. There are many staking repositories out there, but for us the best one was definitely Gemfarm. Gemfarm is an open source repository with a simple front end. With this repo, you have all the functionalities deployed to the Solana blockchain, similar to the Candy machine, so you don't have to learn Rust for implementing staking or anything. Because many people ask this, to use Gemfarm, you don't have to deploy your own version to the blockchain, although there is a part in the documentation about it. With this part, they just give you the opportunity to do so if you, for example, want to change the basic functionalities of the program. Another disclaimer in this place: Gemfarm is, as any other staking repository, continuously under development, so the tool can change from time to time, and if you find any bugs, as we for example has, just create an issue in the repository and the chances are good that it is fixed soon. In general, a big shout out to Illinois for this awesome repository and great communication to us and our team. While testing his repository, we had some minor problems and found a smaller bug, and within one day at least he fixed everything, what is really impressive. So make sure to follow him on Twitter if you want to stay informed about Gemfarm or Gembank. If you want to play around with the Gemfarm or just test some DevNet functionality, you don't have to develop or install anything on your own. You can just go to gemfarm.gg and there you have the full functionalities of the Gemfarm. But if you plan to realize it and further develop the frontend for your purposes, you need to host it on your own. First of all, for this, you need to prepare your environment. Therefore, you need basically the same setup as in any other video of us, so check out the link in the info box if your environment needs to be prepared. I also have prepared some things before the video which you will need to prepare too. I have two wallets, a manager wallet with some funds, as you can see when Phantom is loading, exactly, and I have a farmer wallet with also some funds and a collection which I want to use for staking. I named it Staking Tickets, and this setup is needed for you too, because you need two wallets, the one who is staking with his NFTs and the one who's the farm manager, so in this case you and your project. To get started, the first thing we have to care about is installing and cloning the Gemfarm repository. Therefore, as usual, we just copy the link, move into the folder we want Gemfarm in, type git clone, paste the link, and we are good to go. And now we want to install the front end. Therefore, we will move into the app folder and then into the Gemfarm folder, and here is basically our front end application. So we will now, as told before, move into Gemfarm, then into app, and then again into Gemfarm, not bank, Gemfarm, and now we can type yarn install and everything is installing. In the meantime, I just want you to have a look at the documentation for a second, because this documentation is really good. It's complete. That's one of the greatest things about this documentation. You have everything about Gembank and Gemfarm. So if you want to use Gemfarm for your own purposes, and want to host or change the front end and want to host your own staking system, make sure to completely understand the architecture, completely understand the rates and everything. So yeah, make 100% sure to read this documentation, have a look at the video walkthroughs and the frequent issues, and then you should be good to go. And now I will place a small cut here while it's installing, so see you out. Now, since we have everything installed, we can run yarn surf. And for example, if you don't have ever worked with surf, then before do yarn add surf and you are good to go. I have done this already, so I will do yarn surf in the exact same folder, wait some seconds, and then we can have a look at our gem farm. When the command is ready, what you should see is this here, and let's copy the link to our local host port 8080, and let's see what we got here. The result should be the same as we see on GemFarm.gg, but this time on localhost. So when we now start editing our front end, we would see the adjustments directly, and we can test around. So that's basically the reason why we are doing these steps. This is what the landing page of GemFarm looks like. We have some general information and some links, and two spots: start, manage a farm, or stake your NFTs. The one, like on the left side, is basically a quick link to the farm manager, and the right side is a link to the farmer. So I would say let's start with the farm manager. Therefore, we will have to choose DevNet and Phantom, then make sure that we are connected with the manager wallet and not the farmer wallet, and we can now click New Farm. The first thing we see is the Create Test Reward Mint, which is basically some kind of quick functionality to create 1 million tokens with a random name. So just some kind of random token you could use, for example, to test your functionality. If you want to distribute tokens later on, I would recommend just generating them by yourself, because then you can like choose the amount of tokens, the name, or maybe generate some kind of vanity key pair with the first letters as you want. So yeah, that's basically just a test thing. If you have questions on the whole SPL token stuff, have a look at our whitelist and presale video. For now, I will just use this quick functionality and just mint 1 million random SPL token. Let's approve this transaction. And now we have generated 1 million tokens with the token address you see here, and I will first copy this into the reward A mint field. So just to explain, in GemFarm we always have, and there's no way to work around without like changing the front end or the back end or anything, we always have reward A and reward B. We just have two possible rewards. We don't have to use both at the same time. We can use one or the other, or both at the same time. It's completely up to you. One thing in addition, so that you don't make this mistake, you can put the same token address in both fields, so you need two different tokens for each reward. On the right side we have the two possibilities, variable and fixed. What this exactly is something I will explain to you later. For now, for the first token with 1 million shares I will choose fixed, and for reward B I now want to use Solana. So therefore let's move to solscan.io and let's check what the token address of Solana is. When we now move to tokens, we see rep Solana up here, and we have this token address. So let's paste this token address here. For Solana, I want to use the variable approach. Then we have minimum staking period, which is basically a minimum time you can set before someone can end staking. So when I now put like for example 1000 seconds in there, then when someone starts staking, he can end the staking period only after 1000 seconds. Similar as cooldown. A cooldown is the time between ending staking and removing your NFT from the vault from a staker perspective. So when the cooldown period, for example, is 1000 seconds, then you couldn't remove your NFT from the vault for 1000 seconds. And the last thing is unstaking fee, which basically is there to ensure that nobody's like staking and unstaking all the time. This is just a number of Lamports, so keep in mind one Lamport or one Solana has 1 billion Lamports. The unstaking fee is just a sort of fee you pay when you unstake your NFTs. Okay, for now I will set all this to 0 and we'll hit start farm. Now you will see, or Phantom messed it up, but normally you would see that this start farm process costs you 1.5 Sol. That's a fee Gemfarm takes, which is, I think, completely understandable. And now we can see our farm details. When you have several farms, you could choose here or quick change between your different farms. Then we have our associated bank, which we won't need at the moment. And then we have our farm configs, which we just said before. We can see how much farmers we currently have, how much farmers staked something, and how much gems or NFTs are staked in general. Now we see the information for our 2 rewards, which token we have, which type we have, what the reserved amount, the base rate and the denominator is, how much we have funded currently, how much we have refunded, and how much was accrued at the moment. The same for reward B, but let's move further. If you want to give the authority as a farm manager to someone else, then you could do it with this part here. There you could generate a new farm manager with new staking period and all this stuff. So you could basically change the wallet you can get access to Gemfarm with. Then we have whitelist mints or creators. Here you can define, and in the standard it's open for all NFTs, just in the first place. In this field you can define which kind of NFTs can be staked with your farm. So I, for example, as you remember, have prepared a small NFT collection on my farmer wallet, and now I have several ways to enable that these NFTs can be staked with my farm. I have the way to define it with the creator. So as usual, we have when we have a look at SolScan, we have our creators, and there you can put a verified creator address. If you are wondering why my creator wallet hasn't signed or is verified, the reason for this is that currently Gemfarm has a smaller bug where when you have more than one verified creator, it isn't working properly, at least for me. I forwarded this to the developer. This will probably be fixed in some days, so don't mind, but that's just for the people who wondered why my creator isn't verified. For now I will just take the Candy Machine ID and paste it into the whitelist mint, and just so that you don't run into common issues, keep in mind to check if you're connected with the correct wallet, with the manager wallet, because if not, the transaction won't pop up. Now let's approve this transaction, and when everything normally goes well, you don't need to do this, but when you want some like developer information, like feedback from the UI, there aren't error messages or anything developed within like the front end. So when you want to see like reactions of the tool, you have to use the console. So just to keep that in mind, If anything isn't working, then just open the console and check what is happening. So now we have our Candy Machine ID whitelisted, so every NFT from my Candy Machine ID can now be staked within this farm. The next thing we have to do is authorize funders. So to somehow load up our rewards, we need to authorize the manager as funder so that we can put some money or tokens in there. So let's start with authorizing, and afterwards I would say let's start with the tokens, because when we want to charge Solana we have to put one step in before. Now our funder is authorized, so we could start funding our rewards. Therefore I would like to start with Solana, but before we can fund our Sol, we have to make one thing sure. As you can see, Solana and tokens have one big difference. The Solana, when Phantom is loading, I could show it to you. The Solana are directly in our account from the Solana architecture. The tokens is just an account where the tokens are in, and this account is held by our Phantom wallet account. So the Solana are directly in our account and the tokens are in one account lower in the hierarchy. So what we now want to make sure is that our Solana, which we want to fund with our rewards, are also in one account holded by our account. Therefore, we can open a command prompt window. In the first place, we have to make sure that our configs are set to our manager wallet. So without this, SPL tokens, like the SPL token command, is not working properly. So I have set it the key pair path to our manager wallet. And what we now can type is, typo at this point, not Solana config, we are typing SPL token, then wrap, then the amount of tokens we want to wrap in our account for the funds, and then the wallet we want them wrapped into, and that's it. And when we now reload Phantom wallet, what we can see is that we should have a second pool of Sol, which is named Wrap Sol, and here it is. Now we have our normal Solana, which are directly assigned to our wallet, and then we have an account which is named Wrapped Sol, where all our other Solana are in. So now we could start with funding our reward. For Sol I chose variable. Variable means, or is named variable, because the amount each staker gets in the end is changing constantly. This means I can now put, for example, an amount in here like 1000 and a duration which is 1000. This would mean in the next 1000 seconds, doesn't matter what happens, the amount of 1000 tokens is distributed to the stakers. Although nobody is staking, when nobody is staking through the whole time, obviously nothing is distributed. But when only one NFT, for example, is staked, or one gem, then this staker gets one token per second. But if another guy is staking a second gem, then both of them gets 0.5 tokens per second. And so on and so on. If, for example, 10 NFTs are staking at the same time, with this setup, then every of them would get 0.1 token per second, and so on and so on. So the amount which the staker gets in the end is changing constantly, but it's more easy for you to think about how long will your the amount you fund reach, because you know, okay, in 1000 seconds 1000 tokens are away. For our Sol, I have charged 20 Solana. There was some fees on it, so I will choose to do which is a good number. Let's do 15 Solana. And now keep in mind, we are talking in lamports here, so you have to add 9 zeros. Let's check if I can count. Yeah, looks good. And I want to distribute this 15 Solana in the next, for example, 15,000 seconds. So when I now click fund, we are asked for approval. We can see when the transaction thing is loaded, which won't happen today. We could see that we are charged with 15 Sol, but Phantom is a little bit buggy in the last days. And now we can see that we have funded 15 Solana or 15 billion lamports. That's fine. So I would say let's start with a farmer and check if our Solana are correctly distributed. But before, one last thing, this time frame, the duration we set is exactly a duration in time. So as we can see, in exactly 15,000 seconds, which is tomorrow and in some hours less, so not 24 hours but something in between, there it will end. So when someone is starting to stake like 15 minutes before the end, he will get the 15 Sol for his own on his own. So yeah, before we now can move to the farmer, we have to copy our farm address, because we need that later to connect or to generate our farmer. So now let's switch to our farmer wallet. Phantom drives me crazy today. Okay. No. Awesome. So let's reload the page and just move to the farmer tab. My local host isn't fast today too, so maybe it's my computer and not Phantom, but okay. So let's move to the farmer as before, choose Phantom, and then let's paste our wallet address in here, our farm address in here. And when we now click new farmer, we have to approve the transaction with our farmer wallet, and then we are able to stake. We can see all our NFTs in here, and as I whitelisted the golden tickets in here, they should work too. Exactly, we see some more information here, like how many gems we have staked, minimum staking, cooldown, and all this information, how much rewards we have. So let's maybe start with moving one gem into our vault with the arrow, and afterwards with the button. And now we have one NFT in our vault, and we can begin staking. So let's approve this transaction, and now this vault is locked and we are staking with this NFT. Some minutes have passed now, and we can, with the refresh account and approve the transaction, check how much rewards or how much lamports we have got so far. So Let's approve this transaction, and we see we have now 226,000 lamports, which should be around 0.2 sol, if I'm not wrong. We will see when I claim it. So what I can now do is claim my reward without unstaking or anything. I can just approve this transaction. It's loading a few seconds, and then we see in our farmer wallet that we got Phantom is making fun of us, that we have 0.2 sol earned so far. And that's how, yeah, sols are distributed with staking with a variable reward. So let's now have a look at the token functionality. Therefore, we will change back to our manager wallet, which will, as always, take some seconds. And then we will have a look at reward A, which are our 1 million tokens we already have, and the fixed rate. So let's reload this window and see what we got so far. So I will choose again, I will choose again Definite and Phantom, and then we see our farm back again. So now let's see what we can do with reward A. Reward A, the type is fixed. This means you are defining one or more rates, which gives stakers a fixed amount of tokens per gem per second. For example, what I could now do is saying, okay, I give my stakers 1000 tokens per gem, 1001 token per gem per second. Denominator defines, basically the denominator. So when I, for example, would put a denominator of 10 here, then we would distribute 0.1 token per gem per second. Let's put a 1 here. Now I would distribute to every staker 1 token per gem per second. What makes it a little bit difficult is that you can't really 100% make sure which amount and which duration will get staked or will get rewarded, because you never know how much of your NFTs are in the vault and are staking currently or in the future. So it's some kind of hard math. So when we, for example, would have 1 NFT staked right now, which basically is on our farmer, then I could just put in here, like before, 1000 in a duration of 1000 seconds. But when now a second NFT or gem is staked, then I would need 2000. So basically, I hope you get the point. But with fixed, we have also some more possibilities, because we can now, for example, say tier 1 required tenure, that after, for example, 100 seconds of staking, you reach tier 2 reward, which is 2 gems per second, and so on and so on. So I could like put 4 different rates here for 4 different times. So I could, for example, now say in tier 3, which is basically after 300 seconds of staking, you get 4 gems per second, and then you get this rate until you end staking. So for now, I will leave the rest here. We could stay with tier 1 staking, and I will put a higher amount in here, which is necessary when I want to stake more. So I just put 10,000 amount for a duration of 10 seconds. So we should basically good to go if we don't put 10 NFTs in there on tier 1 after 100 seconds. So let's fund this. So let's fund our 10,000 tokens. approve. Let's see in the console if anything pops up. No. And we now have funded 10,000 tokens, base rate 1 token per gem per second, T1 rate 2 tokens per gem per second. Perfect. So let's have a look at the farmer side again. Therefore, we move back to farmer. We change our wallet as before, and then we can paste our farm address again and see what happened so far on our farmer account. So let's change again back to farmer wallet. Let's reload the page to make sure that the correct wallet is connected. This takes some seconds here. We are, choose DevNet Phantom, and let's paste our address in here, which should be this one. And there we see our staking. For now, nothing has changed here. Every number is the same. Our ticket is still in the vault because we have to refresh the account. Just for your information, since we started the staking, some minutes has passed now. So the accrued reward part will probably be not that small. We have 1040 tokens on our side for now, which is pretty impressive, and we should be in tier 1 since a few minutes, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty cool. So I would say yeah, this works just fine. So what we could do now is, yeah, for example, claim all of our tokens with a transaction may fail to confirm message from the best wallet in the world, Phantom. But what we can see now in our wallet is that we should have something round about 1 sol, which is pretty awesome, and around 1128 tokens. So let's see, and there we have 1.1 sol and some tokens which are exactly 1128. Pretty cool. So what we could do now is end staking, approve this transaction. Then we would have normally here, if we had a cooldown, so we have to wait like 1000 seconds or something. We don't have any of that, so we can just end the cooldown immediately. And when the transaction is approved, what we now could do is remove our NFTs, or for example move more of them in, and then we could earn more tokens and more money if we do so. Yeah, like for your information, when you move several NFTs at the same time into the vault, these are several transactions, so yeah, don't wonder. But yeah, now we could, yeah, begin staking again and approve this transaction, and then staking starts over, and we would earn like a much bigger amount, 4 times bigger. So, but that's how the basic functionality works, which is pretty cool, I think. Let's see how fast we are making money now. So yeah, maybe to correct what I just said, like we learned before, for the variable rate, we won't earn more per second, because yeah, the same amount is distributed over the same time, or we won't earn that much more. For reward A, here we would earn faster, but yeah, that just in addition. So let's check some last steps. Let's change our wallet to our manager wallet, because there are some minor things or basically one minor thing I just want to share with you. When you want to use staking, you have to give some kind of proof that you aren't like canceling your funds, rug pulling your staking environment or something. So therefore there is some functionality in Gemfarm which I will show you now, because at every point normally you have the possibility to cancel your funds. So what I could do now is cancel reward ace funds, approve this transaction, and then I would get back like the rest of the left token amount. Let's check in Phantom if this worked. Perfect. And now we see that we have a very strange number, which is not possible because we had a complete different amount which was in our reward A, and we can do the same for reward B. We could cancel the funds easily, get back the rest of our money, and we are like some kind of rug pulled or something, so the stakers won't earn any money. Therefore we have these lock functionality. With this lock functionality you can basically lock your funds and you will never be able to get them back, which is some kind of proof for your customers that you can't move back your funds, so they are safe. And what you could also do is like refresh farmers from your side, and down here put in your treasury payout, which is basically for the unstaking fee. So when you have an unstaking fee, you have to fill this down here too. And basically that's Gemfarm. If you have any questions left, just contact us, and I would give the word back to Vasamo.
We talked a lot about this before, but in this part I want to get more specific about token utilities and tokenomics. So in other words, what are my options when I want to distribute an SPL token instead of Solana? Your SPL token has basically no value. It is simply a fungible token and only gets value when you build a utility around it. So something for which this token can be useful for. There are so many possibilities that we only explain the most important ones. Option 1. What many projects do is to bring their token to the market. This basically means that you have to obtain a Serum market ID, set the price and the liquidity pool, and once a few minor steps are done, your SPL token is ready to be traded on the Radium Swap interface against, for example, Sol or USDC. It may sound simple, but it can be very expensive when realizing it. The smaller your liquidity pool is, the greater will be the price fluctuations as soon as people buy and sell your token. Also have in mind that you're increasing the supply of tokens from day to day. But to be honest, this topic has way too many variables and we will do a specific video about it if you wish. Option 2. Your SPL token can be used as internal currency for your project. For example, you can open your own marketplace where you can sell other NFTs that can only be bought or auctioned with the SPL token. Option 3. Combine it with other utilities. There are projects that make, for example, breeding or mutation possible with a certain number of tokens that you have to play with. This can create a new NFT or even improve the rarity of the current one. Option 4. A great thing is also the option to let voting take place in a DAO and claim the tokens as a requirement for participation. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite a lot of work of ours again. So please support us with a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Discord if you have any questions. And we can talk in the Discord about the part 2 and what it should contain. So yeah, join our Discord and see ya.